Thank you. Thank you, fans. Thank you. Thank you. I've just come back from the Stevie Wonder photography class.
I was going to say, he's looking like Stevie Wonder there, isn't he?
It's because of all the sun that we're having today. And I'm just thinking, I'm just going to come on and, be a little bit bright, I mean,
is it in your house, the sun, as well, is it?
Good point out, Mark. Well spotted.
Yes, it is. It is.
Bright lights in that house.
I'm in a happy mood because a day ago, it was doing this. But now the sun is out.
It'll be doing that again tomorrow, probably, don't worry.
Oh, you reckon?
It's like a rave.
All right, okay. Let's bring everybody in here.
We're having a rave.
I'm telling you. Do you know what? As I said, I was saying to Trevor in the green room, I just said to him, it's great, coming out of makeup, the way that they can put all that stuff on your forehead and make it look like a rash. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, that acne compound, it's good, isn't it?
Oh, so I'm telling you. Let's get straight into breaking news. Here we go. Okay.
Always look forward to this bit.
Oh, I do, yeah. Can you start with a noise? The Greeks? You are?
Oh, wait and see.
Looking on Twitter, you know, a lot of lefties.
Wake up, fab. Yeah, that's good. That man still needs a holiday. Yeah, he's not gone yet, is he?
No.
I can pretend. I can pretend I'm on holiday. Look here, I'm on holiday with you.
Oh, you got the sun in your room as well.
Proper sunny in it. Yeah, it's proper sunny.
You trade deal with China. It's sweet and sour. Yeah, that's good. I like that one. Yeah, sweet and sour.
Well, just to annoy Mark quickly.
Chicken, banana.
Ah, you got me there.
Banana.
Right. Okay.
I finished.
That reminds me.
I knew he was going to do it. I just didn't know.
All right. Now you asked about Starmer annoying the Greeks. Well, he did. Check this out. Come on.
Wondering what's going to happen here. We're going to get our strike. Oh, it's gone off. Thank God for that.
Well, it was about to get faster, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Glad. Is there more? Is there more?
Hey, I tell you what, I did
I'm not going to do it.
when I was there.
Go on, did it get faster?
Down.
Do it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going. I'm not going to do that. Anyway, okay. I didn't know that Nigel Farage tells jokes. Did you know?
Yeah, but he does everything else, doesn't he? Doesn't he?
God, But anyway, first off, okay, there was fallout. Okay, amongst what happened. I mean, it was not good. Not good. There was a fallout about what was going on. And quite simply, it's just, I think Starmer has caused an awful lot of problems. Okay,
saying that, mate. Have you seen some of the lefties on Twitter and that?
Oh, God, yeah.
He's literally Hitler.
Well, I was a little bit interested. I was a little bit interested in one guy, and Mark, perhaps you can elaborate on this. But
every senior member of our cabinet, and actually I think pretty much every senior Labour politician, certainly over the last 25 years, have been members of the Fabian Society. And for those who don't know, the Fabian Society is a secretive organisation who believe in communism through evolution, not revolution. Their logo is a wolf in sheep's clothing.
That says it all.
That says a lot. And then when you look at the UK, what's happening and what's happened, certainly in the last 25 years, if you look at it through a Marxist or a communist lens, things start to come into focus of what's actually happening. And going away from the investment world, you look at the deliberate destruction of families, the deliberate destruction of religion.
Well, all of a sudden...
just summed it up,
Yeah, that popped up. I mean, tell us about the Fabian Society. Tell us about it.
I think he's basically just summed it up there, hasn't he?
Okay.
One of my counsellors are Fabian too. So
really?
Yeah.
Are they more secretive than...
No, they're very open.
Oh, they're very open.
Oh, yeah.
So they're
as soon as this socialist thing crept into this country, mate, they popped up.
All right, okay. Well, a lot of things happening. I mean, here's the fallout from it. And this is fresh, from this morning, okay? I mean, have a listen to this. This is Yvette Cooper being interviewed.
He spent 5 minutes sounding to a lot of critics like he could have been Nigel Farage. And the criticism is he actually sounded like Enoch Powell. So I repeat the question, which is, did you know about this Island of Strangers line? And is it one that you agree with and would use?
Well, I think what you heard the Prime Minister say at the beginning of the clip that you played was to talk about the diverse nation, and he celebrated that.
Cooper, I'm sorry, at the beginning, for 5 minutes of his speech, from the beginning of his speech, for 5 minutes, he did not talk about the benefits of immigration. And then he used this phrase, Island of Strangers. So I repeat the question for the third time. Is it a phrase you knew about, that you recognise and that you would use?
No, but I think that's the problem. The immediate phrase that he said immediately before it was to talk about the diverse nation. And then he said, immigration needs to be controlled.
Well, do you see? She's deflecting from the question. And you could tell that Susanna Reid is getting really, really annoyed. Now, I mean, I'm going to let this run so that you can actually hear how annoyed they really are.
Before you do, it's funny they say that, because I've been looking for some Farage AI voice or something so I can put it over the top of Keir when he's doing his speech.
Oh. I mean,
or I could do it the other way around, couldn't I?
It is bad. It is bad. Listen to this.
Managed, and I think there's a real challenge.
We risk becoming an island of strangers. And I just ask again, did you know he was going to use that echo?
No, but the point is that this is...
And would you use that phrase?
I honestly think the point that he is making here is about we have to have controlled and managed, we have to have people who are able to speak English, that we have to make sure that we've got rules that are respected and enforced. I think all of those are things that Good Morning Britain viewers would agree with. I think those are things that are really important across the country. And we end up getting tangled up in language where actually what we need is to make sure that we're bringing in serious policies that can bring control and order to the system, that can make sure that we've got a system that's working rather than one where there's always overseas recruitment rather than training in the UK and the system isn't properly managed.
Home Secretary, you invoke This Morning viewers, Good Morning Britain viewers. I can assure you that they can always tell when a politician doesn't answer the question. And one of the things they will have watched over the last 2.5 minutes is you not answering Susanna's question, but answering questions that she didn't actually ask.
Well, what about
Finally,
that?
someone said it. Yeah, answer the question.
I mean, they're going. They went at her with no problem whatsoever. So there is definitely fallout, from him doing.
Well, they're not singing off the same hymn sheet, are they?
Well, apparently she didn't know what he was going to say.
Well, they just said. I mean, she just said that then because they said to her, "Did you know what he was going to say?" And she said, "No."
No, because if he'd have told them all, he'd have literally locked him in a room. Not let him do it.
That Fabian Society mark that he was on about, has that got any connection with the 11-point plan?
Oh, yeah, they're
because
involved in that.
There was a comment made earlier on about destroying family. Well, that's in the 11-point plan.
Yeah.
You mean the Frankfurt one?
Yeah.
The Frankfurt 11, but the school of Frankfurt School of whatever.
Again,
it is,
that's quite complicated too. But we could
we could
do a podcast on that if you want.
Supposedly didn't happen, but if you actually go through the 11-point plan,
there's just no evidence that it happened. That's the thing.
Well, yeah. But it's strange, isn't it, that it's all sort of coming to fruition. But anyway.
Well, here's somebody from the Frankfurt plan. You ready?
Hey, good thinking, that, isn't it? It's good thinking.
I tell you what, it's not bad. That's a good idea. That's nice and easy on one of them.
Oh, what? I mean, that's it. That's it. He was part of the Frankfurt plan because he was.
Well, what you're going to have to
Germany.
do now is you're going to have to take it to court so that he can't do that because, and that'll be like a 3-year court case to stop him riding a motorbike
at the Tour de France.
In the Tour de France, yeah.
Oh God. Anyway, let's go on to the first one, okay? Which is it's a serious one, okay? I think this guy. I think this guy needs a dentist more than you, Mark. Here we go. It's vote rigging in Rochdale.
You text me yesterday to tell me what is going on at the count in Rochdale.
I want this Labour pile having a look at, someone having a look at this Labour pile. So a young lad came over, started pulling out 1 pack, 2 pack, 3 pack, 4, all my votes, which led to about 100 votes. And then the cats obviously looked through the rest of them and found another 2 packs of the Conservative vote, which led to 150 votes.
Well,
I mean, Labour piles are a damn sight worse than standard piles, aren't they?
I would say they're about on a par, really. You know,
There's no cream to fix Labour piles, is there?
Oh,
no,
there
there's no
isn't.
cream for that.
There's no cream for
he's
that.
stuck with him.
well, that guy was actually saying that he was basically accusing them of actually cheating and rigging the vote. And I'm like, what? I mean, do you want to hear a little bit more from him and see what he says?
Yeah, I want to listen to Nick Talks. I like it.
Everybody, and welcome back to Nick Talks. This episode's
Hi,
guest
Nick.
is a friend of mine, Billy Howarth, who's an independent politician from Rochdale. He stood at many local council elections now and at the last 2 general elections or MP elections in Rochdale. First of all, Billy, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nick. Nice to be here.
Nice for you to come on.
Thank you, Nick.
You text me yesterday to tell me what is going on at the count in Rochdale. For people who don't know, we didn't have any local elections in Greater Manchester, but Rochdale, there was a by-election for a council seat. So we had 1 council by-election in Rochdale, and you stood as an independent. Well done you for standing yet again. But something sneaky was going on there. What exactly went on at the count? And when I mean count, for people who don't know, that's when all the ballot papers are delivered. They're all on the table and people are physically counting them and putting them into small piles, depending on the political party.
The wrong piles.
What happened at
Well, yeah, he's talking about piles again, and he's associating it with Labour. Here we go.
count?
Well, it stemmed from earlier suspicions from previous elections, so I took it upon myself this time to make sure I had a team counting for my votes while I watched what was going on behind the vote. And it pretty much soon became clear, just for those that think I'm a sore loser, that I wasn't going to win after the first 35 minutes of the count. But what I was seeing was a really large reform vote. So we carried on. As we get nearer to the end, where the best way I can explain it is wine racks, but laid flat down on the table. So if you was to put a bottle in it, the bottle would be facing upwards like so, yeah? So the piles are put into bundles of 25. I know it's 50 at a general election, but at the council election, it's piles of 25, which are then rolled up and stuck into the wine slot. So again, it'll look like that, stuck in the wine slot.
Well, that's what the counters are looking at. So when they go on there, they can see and they can get a guess of exactly who's what, and where, and how, and why. Okay. So what I want to know is how did he actually find out that his had actually gone into the Labour basket? That's what I want to know. Let's have a quick listen again.
Well, he must have asked for a count.
And
Sorry, Trevor, you were going to say?
He must have asked for a recount or a recheck.
Well, let's see.
pretty quickly it became clear that our count wasn't matching up with what was in our slots. So I started to monitor the people who were taking from the table to the slots, and I noticed there was Labour's vote was massive, and it was getting bigger than Reform's. And I thought this doesn't match up. This doesn't match up. So I called over one of the heads of the electoral commission, one of the ladies who deal with by the name of Claire. I called her over and I said, "This doesn't mathematically add up. I want this Labour pile someone having a look at this Labour pile." So a young lad came over, started pulling out 1 pack, 2 pack, 3 pack, 4, all my votes, which led to about 100 votes. And then the cats obviously looked through the rest of them and found another 2 packs of the Conservative vote, which led to 150 votes. Now, I'm not great at maths, but if you look at the Labour candidates total at the end, if you add 150 to that, she was elected to be the council of Balderstone and Cuckold. Luckily, I called it out. They changed it, put it back to where it should have been, which led to Reform then being rightfully, because he'd won by a landslide in my eyes. It wasn't even that close. Won by a landslide. So then I raised the issue. And of course, at the time, I wanted a recount.
Yeah, you were right, Trevor.
You know, that's all you can ask for in a situation like that. I asked for a recount. I was told quite quickly by the CEO and returning officer, no, it's just a mistake. I made the point that mistakes cannot be made at a ballot counting. To keep the integrity of a ballot, there mustn't be a mistake. I went outside to cool down while they was all trying to sort it out. And I left my team inside watching, making sure no more got pulled out. And there was a police car in the car park. So I approached the officers in the vehicle and I said, I'm really not happy about this. I want you to come and have a look at what's gone on here. They walked in. The returning officer walked up to the cop and said, it's just a simple mistake. So the officer then turned to me and said, right, listen, you need to calm down. And that's the video you see. But they accused me of swearing, kicking off, so on. And you've seen the videos, guys. Everyone else will see the videos. You know, I was well within my right to raise my voice, but I did it in a democratic way. And thankfully, I was on the ball, because if I'd have not seen it, we'd have been sat there the morning after with a Labour councillor who didn't have the right to be in the seat. It was won by Reform.
It was won by Reform.
Yeah, and actually, on the on the count as well, they have a designated officer named.
Yeah.
So he should have been there on the night, or you know, he or she should have been there on the night, because they do have an officer there.
Yeah.
Obviously, in case anything kicks off, because it does get heated, and especially if you see something like that.
Well, what are you saying?
At my count, because it was on the ballot paper, it was Nichols and Nichols. I was standing against Charlotte Nichols. And, you know, it's difficult to say, because the majority of the people that count are actually council workers.
Yeah, and they're also Labour supporters.
Labour council workers.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
So I had a team of 10 there keeping their eye on what was going on, because, I mean, okay, it was quite a large difference in vote.
Yeah.
You know, maybe this one, the one in Rochdale, actually obviously sounded closer, because that was it was
it was 150 votes, and if he hadn't have actually questioned it, there would have been a Labour councillor in there.
Well,
so there must have been within 150 votes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, a local council normally is in it. I mean, when you get, you know, I mean, normally when you get a general election, it's quite a bigger discrepancy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's just not like Runcorn. Now, Mark, who's that fella from the English Constitution again? What's his name? That something more, in it.
Can't hear you, Mark.
Oh, sorry, Graham Moore.
Graham Moore.
Graham Moore, yeah. Have you seen it? He's just put in a court writ.
Against?
Not sure who it's against, actually, but it's about the Runcorn vote, because what happened is he stood in another vote another election about 3 years ago, and he got exactly the same amount of votes, 50.
Wow.
And he said, statistically, that couldn't happen. You know, sort of so many years apart.
Yeah.
And to get exactly 50 votes. And he said, obviously, you're not going to turn around the Runcorn one, but he's looking into it, and he's signed. There's a method you can go down, and he's actually put a court writ in to have a look at it, because he's on 2 elections now. It's exactly the same count.
It's weird that, I mean, because he's quite right about that, Mark. I mean, that wouldn't happen.
I'm just looking at that Boulderstone and Kirkholt results, and Reform won with 766 seats and Labour was second with 624.
Yeah, so that's
those so-called errors would have flipped the election.
Correct.
The funny thing is this. Look, I mean, first off, the police came in and then basically they just did an Obi-Wan Kenobi and said, "There's nothing to see here. These aren't the droids you're looking for. Move along."
Yeah.
Really? Like, someone should have gone in and investigated that, because there's 4 here in Rochdale. I've just been looking at, so it's no surprise, just been looking at some of the things that happened in the past.
Yeah.
2018, Faisal Rana, a Labour councillor in Rochdale, voted in 2 different wards because apparently he had property in different parts of the city. No, because he's a cheater, in my opinion, and a fraud.
Yeah.
Apparently he didn't realise the rules. Yeah, okay, bro. If that's what you're saying, whatever.
Yeah, no.
2024, George Galloway had a problem as well because they were letting Labour canvassers actually speak to people inside the polling station.
Yeah.
And people were voting without any ID. And this was all done to help Azhar Ali, Labour candidate. And the returning officer actually sacked at least 1 clerk.
Wow.
So
okay.
I think these activists need to be barred from these election counts.
Well, yeah, because you employ a completely a new set of people, to actually, make the count, to do that. Because I mean, how can you? I don't know. When you do it physically, okay, then you are going to get yourself a problem. If each one of them, has a cross by a QR code, then they cannot be mistaken when they're actually scanned.
So yeah, I was going to say, John, maybe we need to use technology, but then in America that didn't really work
that showed
either.
it
But
up.
if you had both, you had the manual count
and
a technology count in it, and then you compare the two.
That's
if they're
right.
both the same, then okay. But if not, then there's a recount. But I mean, I'd say harsh punishments are needed for this.
Oh yeah, because it'll put them off them, won't it? It'll make an example of somebody.
Yeah, it seems to be a certain demographic.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? So maybe
Labour.
I don't know what's the Islamic punishment in the Sharia for cheating. I don't know, adultery.
Yeah.
It's 100 lashes and stoned to death. So maybe
for cheating,
Sharia, we can use that.
For cheating or stealing, it's to have your hand chopped off.
No, if you cheat on that's stealing though. If you cheat on your wife and you're married, it's
well,
good night. 100 lashes and stoned to death. So I don't know. Does that sound appealing?
It's a serious issue, isn't it? Because this is about democracy. This is about the.
I'm half teasing, but
it's the future of our country, isn't it? And you can't allow this.
Excuse me. What future are you talking about?
Well, exactly. I mean, that's not my future, but yeah, surely you've got to look at another system, whether it be. Completely using somebody impartial, which I mean, you think they would, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Why would they be using council staff?
Well, I know a lot of the corporates use, they use outside bodies to do the counting of the votes, and most of them are electronic. I know that all the royalty collection agencies use outside bodies, to do the voting when it does it. I'm a little bit suspicious of them because the majors always get voted in. Okay, but it's a different voting system there. But anyway, okay. Well, we're gonna move on because we've got another story, and these are the ones that we missed from last night. So we didn't want to cheat anybody in the titles. So here's let's hope that is not going to happen again with the rest of the councils when they do eventually come to vote, because
has it happened before and nobody's noticed
it? But that guy was slick.
I actually got extra people helping on the night with me because it was, I say, it was nickels and nickels on the ballot paper.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying it could have been done deliberate, but it could have been done.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't have to do that.
No, quite right. We have a loss of integrity in the systems within this country now, and that's what's been instilled in people. But anyway, here's something that came from the fallout Just a quick one before we go on to the prison attacks. And here we go. It is Chris Phelps from the Conservatives, if they are the Conservatives, or the non-Conservatives. Okay, you ready?
Today, I'm calling for the complete abolition of so-called non-crime hate incidents. These waste a colossal amount of police time when they investigate playground spats between children, disputes within families, or even journalists debating issues like the trans question online. This is a catastrophic waste of police time. I want police forces like the Metropolitan Police, based here behind me, to spend their time investigating real crimes like shoplifting, car theft and domestic burglary, not acting as the thought police on Twitter. We're going to table this as an amendment to a bill going through Parliament. Conservatives will vote for common sense. We'll see what Labour does.
Well,
two things. I mean, I'd take his word for it. If A, he could get a suit that fit him properly, and B, these idiots weren't the ones to literally create all this crap in the first place.
Indeed. I was just about to say.
Yesterday's news. Jog on. See you later.
Well, no,
Exactly
this only came out. I think it was late on yesterday.
Yeah, it's been going on 10 years, mate. Slow kids again. I'll tell you what, skip him. He's a nobody.
Exactly the same comment. They've been in for 14 years. Why have they not sorted any of this out?
Oh, Jesus, don't.
Easy to say when you're in opposition. You know you're not getting in for another 4 or 5 years, or possibly ever again.
Okay.
I'll stand in election, and everyone can have free electricity, and I'll get food can be free, and you know what I mean. I can make all these claims and vote for me, and I'll do none of it. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah, well, that's exactly what's going on. It's soundbite. Soundbite City. Okay. Well. Okay. The horrific prison attacks that took place, and here's a breakdown of it. A quick one.
There's not a single UK jail with tighter security than Belmarsh. Yet behind its towering walls, an alleged attack on a prison officer using boiling water by this man, triple murderer Axel Rudikabana.
Let's just make it clear. It wasn't alleged. It happened.
The teenager sentenced to at least 52 years for killing 3 young girls in Southport last summer. And this latest incident, less than a month after Manchester bomb plotter Hashim Abedi is said to have attacked 4 guards with hot oil and homemade weapons at Durham's Frankland prison.
He did. I don't know why they're saying he is said to have. Maybe it's because they've got to investigate it and then go through. But everybody else.
The police are investigating it. You know what the media are like.
Yeah. Okay.
They won't say nothing, will they?
I get it.
But there's concern that worse may be yet to come.
My greatest fear is, and we've already come really close to it at Frankland, is that one of my colleagues will be murdered on duty because of the lack of protection and because senior leaders are not proactive enough and keep appeasing prisoners.
After that attack, the Justice Secretary announced a snap review into the use of body armour by prison staff, as well as a trial of tasers. And there have been calls for violent inmates not to have access to items like kettles. But former prison...
Not to have access to kettles and, And go ahead, Mark.
These people are incredible. First, like me, heart and sympathy goes out to the injured prison guard. This shouldn't be happening. I mean, why are we still appeasing jihadis? Just stop. It's embarrassing, to be honest. And more importantly, it's actually extremely dangerous, as we've just found out now twice.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be honest, I mean, ideally, the death sentence would have been perfect for these people, but seeing as we can't do that, there should be no telly, no kettles, no gym, nothing. In fact, I'd just give him a cardboard box to sleep on and a bucket to piss in, and he'd be lucky if he got that off me. Heads need to roll for this, John, but they won't, will they? Again,
no, they won't.
Who's let him have a kettle? Is this I'm sure this is a simulation. I keep saying this every day, but this is just.
Well, it's right. I mean, how's he got access to that, to a boiling kettle?
What I want to know is that Tommy Robinson doesn't have those same privileges. Has he?
Next point: has he got a kettle? Can he come out on his thing and walk around?
And he's
he gets treated worse by the sounds of it, John.
Isn't he on the same block?
No, Tommy's in Wood Hill now.
Oh, he's in Wood Hill. Okay.
Yeah. But they've literally been moving all these jihadis from Frankland after that attack. And putting them in Belmarsh. And this little Well, I haven't written his name in my notes. I've got a 4-letter word beginning with a C, but he's literally able to do that now as well in Belmarsh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just, and that, what did they just say? That's one of the safest jails in the, is it?
Really?
Wow,
For who?
Okay. Yeah, brilliant. Excellent. Not for
What do you call him a comb for?
He didn't call him a comb.
He did, a 4-letter word beginning with C, comb.
It was close.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. It doesn't make sense, does it? I mean, you're not going to give him cooking oil, are you? You know, a chip pan, and what's going on? I thought the food was cooked for him. I thought they were supplied with drinks, etc.
That's it.
But apparently they don't. They must be able to go to the kitchen and eat and drink what they want and do whatever they want. It seems that way.
Well, the truth of the matter is that when they're able to make tea in their own room, they've got sugar. And when you add sugar to boiling water and you throw it over somebody, that's bad news because it sticks. And that's what causes, the burn. You can't get it off, because it really does. It does burn. I know if anybody.
Well, that happened. One attack was a month before, and then that happened.
Yeah.
Obviously, 4 weeks later. I mean, what's going on? What's happening in these prisons?
Oh, it's this government and this system that's in that are giving precedence and priority to these prisoners. I mean, they should never have been here in the first place. Especially that first one. What's his name? Abedi? He shouldn't have been here. Why was he here?
They shouldn't. But we've got to deal with the fact that they are. So if we're not going to make these scumbags disappear, then I've said this before, we need an offshore facility. And we need to run it with AI. It's really possible.
Like an Alcatraz.
Yeah, the AI can open all the doors, and then we can get a couple of few of Elon Musk's AI robots. They can deliver the food, right? And then, what was it? I watched something, it was a film, but I think it was one of them Star Wars spin-off things on. And they had a prison, and they had ankle tags. And if they messed around, the ground just went electric, and they got shocked. I'm seriously saying we really need to do stuff like this and keep them off this island.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally,
get rid of them. I mean, get rid of them because they're not only causing problems outside, they're also causing problems inside. And the prison officers are not going to take it. I mean, the prison officers know that they're not walking into fairyland every time they go into work. They know. I mean, because we know some prison officers, and we know, and we get the sort of the bare facts, not anything truthful about what's going on in some of these prisons, but what they're faced with on a daily basis. And it's a dangerous job. There is no
things like this shouldn't be happening, should they? Kettles and fat. I mean, it shouldn't be happening. Somebody's negligent somewhere, aren't they?
No, absolutely. And it's too much. It's too much now. People have got to wake up, and they've just got to say, no, stop treating these people as if they have the same rights as the normal citizens that actually abide by the law.
They've got more rights than we have.
Well, there is, but that's got to stop. That has got to stop.
It shouldn't be happening.
Yes, that's got to stop. There's no way. I mean, when he killed those little girls, that's all his rights gone. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
human rights? No. That guy's not a human.
Well, exactly. He's not human.
No. And if he's carrying on and doing that...
There's something wrong in his brain.
We don't need to keep these people. We really don't. What for? You think we're going to rehabilitate him? There's some good YouTube channels out there. We've got ex-cons and ex-prison guards who talk about everything that's going on. Mm-hmm. And they're like, what? Give them tasers. What the hell's that going to do? No. If someone's going to throw boiling water in your face, you ain't have got time to get your taser
out. Yeah.
Why are these people being put anywhere? Apparently, I'm hearing he's thrown it over a balcony, so I'm not sure it's gone directly in a face or his face, whoever it was. But can you imagine just walking around and directly above you is him just roaming around on the loose?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me here?
And the other guards, the other prisoners must have seen him if he was above them. They must have seen him. Why didn't they warn the guards?
Warn the guard. He's in Belmarsh. They're all jihadis, John. They were probably all in on this together. It was probably some part of a bigger plan. You did notice it was done on VE Day, didn't you?
Oh, yes. No.
Coincidence? I don't think so.
No.
Little
I get
scumbag.
I get
I
it.
hope he got his arse handed to him after that.
Oh,
I'm hearing he did.
I've no doubt that the party would have been thrown for him. I've no doubt whatsoever. Anyway, so we've fulfilled our promise. We decided, we came back to, the subjects in order to make sure that people knew that we are people of our word. And just to end on something a little bit funny, here we go.
What happens when an asylum seeker gets 3 wishes at Dover? Will he get his dream life or a savage British reality check? Starving asylum seeker is greeted at Dover by a good fairy who grants him 3 wishes. He says, I'm hungry. Boom! A huge banquet appears. He says, I want a huge mansion with a swimming pool. Boom! One appears. And for my final wish, I want to be British. Boom! The mansion, the banquet, everything vanishes. He asks, where's everything gone? The fairy replies, you're British now, mate. You're entitled to fuck all.
There's the ones going round with Trump and everything, isn't there? The great, them AI ones.
Well, I just thought, with all these things, we'll end on something funny. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for your time once again and your comments, your very, very thoughtful comments. And I think we should decide to start moving off, okay? Because this is supposed to be a short one, but in actual fact, it went on just a little bit. And we'd like to thank the listeners who came, who came to see what's going on. Much, much appreciated. We do appreciate you coming across. So, anyway,
And I love famous quotes as well, just before we go off. That Hannibal Lecter, he has a famous quote. If people make you sick, then maybe just cook them a little bit longer.
Okay, well, and that's it.
Mark
Say good night.
Hannibal Lecter.
Say
no,
goodnight.
I was going to say, apparently that's the way they're treating that other scumbag now. So
Oh, yeah, indeed.
if only he was around, put him in the same room.
All right, well,
Oh, late, wasn't it?
good night, good night.